Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very interesting video regarding the mystery drones, the drones that the government still will not talk about. They say we don't know what they are. We know they're totally lying. So, what's really going on? Well, this gentleman works with drones for a living, and he's got a very good inference on what likely is happening. A lot of people believe this is the most viable choice when it comes to the, you know, option A, option B, option C. Are they foreign? Are they American? Is it a test? Are they prepping us for something? Is it a distraction? Is it potentially because there's maybe some radioactive matter out somewhere and they're trying to sniff for them? That's why they're going up there and they're hovering around at night, and now they're on the Capitol. Seems like that potentially could be it. So I'm going to jump around this video. It's around a 9-minute video. Jump around to some of the important parts on potentially what this could be, and really the most plausible explanation on why they haven't told the general public, possibly to not create a panic. If you're talking about something in relation to a nuclear bomb that they can't locate, that would cause a lot of panic when it comes to citizens and the general public. And so maybe they're saying we don't need to do that. I'm guessing that, they're not evacuating people. So let's see what he has to say with some of these. I'm going to jump around here a little bit.
Uh, Back in the 1980s, Ronald Reagan had dismantled the nuclear program, and there were, with Russia, there were countless nuclear missiles that were disarmed and disposed of. Well, there were over 80, I believe. There were over 80 nuclear warheads that were in Ukraine that came up missing. Okay, we don't know where they are. Maybe somebody does, but nobody really knows where these are. And I speak with some pretty high-level government officials on this stuff, and it seems as though that is the case. So I spoke to a gentleman a few months ago who was trying to raise an alarm to the highest levels of our government, which they had their ears closed, about this one particular nuclear warhead that he physically put his hands on. He physically touched this warhead that was left over from Ukraine. And he knew that that thing was headed towards the United States. Okay? That is a very serious deal. And everyone knows that the United States government, this administration, is pushing to get into a war with Russia. We all know that. We all feel it. We all see it.
Okay. And they might be ramping up that effort after Trump got elected, authorizing the use. We know the United States, the figurehead of NATO, authorizing the use of the long-range missiles, and then ramping up, that's going to ramp up Russia, and they're going to start using longer-range missiles as well. And so now the idea is, why would something like this be happening, these drones, right in between Trump winning and then him being sworn in? Would these drones be flying around if there was a different result with the election?
Now, drones, they have no reason to be in the air at night unless you're doing some type of ISR work, intelligence, surveillance, reconnaissance, looking for bad guys, or looking for a victim, a search and rescue victim, or law enforcement, or some type of military project, right? There's no reason for a drone to be flying at night, really, okay? Because they don't see shit. So, unless you have thermal optics, drones really don't see stuff. You need to do mapping during the day. If you're going to do farming stuff, you mostly do it during the day. The only reason why you would ever fly an aircraft, an unmanned aircraft at night, is if you're looking for something. With this gentleman that I had spoken with, who was trying to raise the alarm to try to get somebody in the government to say, hey, we need to work together to go try to find this nuclear warhead, none of that ever happened. They knew that warhead was on its way to the United States. That's all that ever came of it. Nothing ever happened. This government did not do anything at all to help this gentleman raise the alarm and raise awareness that there is a very deadly weapon on its way to the United States. It's out there. Nobody knows where it's at now. It left Europe. Now it's gone. So my guess, my own guess, is that these drones are not nefarious in intent.
Yeah, I would be shocked if the drones were anything evil at this point, considering how long they've been hovering. I mean, that's just common sense.
If they are, they are, but I doubt it. But if they are drones, the only reason why they would be flying and flying that low is because they're trying to smell something on the ground. That's it. There's no other reason for a drone to be flying in the air other than to piss a bunch of people off at night.
So he's saying that somebody tried to raise a red flag about a nuclear weapon that was coming to the United States from Ukraine within the past few months. And I guess the administration just ignored it. And now, I mean, there's a lot lost, in the weeds on how this entire thing happened. When did the warhead come over here? When did they realize it? And are they really doing that? I know some people are saying it's a test to try and see how the general public would react on a situation where there's drones all over the place and in the air. But this does make sense when you talk about how long they've been out there, the fact that they won't tell us anything. They potentially think it will cause a panic within the public that's unneeded if they say something about in relation to a nuclear bomb or radioactive material, something like that. It's like an unneeded panic, but it's possible they can't locate a nuclear warhead and they're trying to find it via the drones.
Do I think that that they're coming up out of the ocean? No, I don't think so. Uh, Drones that are multi-copter type drones, not the fixed wing aircraft that look like regular airplanes, but the multi-copters, they only have so much battery life. They have hybrid versions that are gas powered with electric, but those can still only fly for a short period of time. There's no way in hell that any drone is going to go miles off the coast as a multicopter and fly into the interior of the United States and do a bunch of work and then turn around and fly back. It's just physics will not allow that to happen. So
So they're being launched at an undisclosed location, but around the same area where they're hovering. That's what he's saying. And this is a plausible explanation when you think about it and you put everything together. A lot of the explanations really didn't make a lot of sense, but this does seem like, these are for sure American drones and they are potentially looking for a nuclear bomb. And they're trying not to. I mean, you'd think if it was a dire situation and if people were actually in danger, they would evacuate people. But maybe they lost track of something and they're searching for it now. Maybe it is just a test to see how the general public would react to a situation like this with these drones flying all over the place. But this has been going on now for around a month. I know it recently got picked up like a week ago in New Jersey specifically, but now they're going to other places. They were in Pennsylvania. People were reporting them in Pennsylvania. We saw them right around the Capitol, the U.S. Capitol. And then just taking a look at some of this betting, just kind of a food for thought perspective thing. Are the New Jersey mystery drones aliens? 2% chance. Nah, they're not. Will they be shot down by Sunday, which is today? 1% chance. They're not going to be shot down because why would the U.S. shoot down their own drones, right? Mystery drones be shot down by next Friday? No, why would they do that? New Jersey mystery drones from foreign. Oh yeah, so this one from foreign country. It's just there's no way they would let them hover for that long. So most likely it's either some type of test or it has something to do with some type of radioactive material or maybe a warhead that was misplaced, just like that man said. That to me is the most likely scenario when it comes to this, and they're trying to find where it could potentially be through the use of the drones as they can cover a lot of ground in doing that. So I would say that's probably most likely. I know people are, very nervous about that. That does sound scary, but you would think they'd be evacuating people. There's still things that really don't add up with this story, honestly. And who knows if we're going to get the actual answer. We'll get some answer, but it is kind of funny how all of they sent out an official or a spokesperson to talk about it, and they just blatantly lie, and they're like, we don't know what. It's like there's no transparency when it comes to this type of stuff, and I know people are very angry The idea that the government would just be allowed to have all these drones flying around and just blatantly lie to the general public. It is what it is. And if he was right, the Biden administration, which is who would be at fault here for not acting on trying to find that nuclear warhead, in which I guess they didn't know where it was, and now maybe they're panicked. Who knows? But either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Link to that's always in the description.